brakes.
Good, you. Welcome back to New Hampshire Vintage. My name is Wyatt, and today is going to be part 2 on the Panther series. Now, I just want to start saying thank you to all the people subscribed. I think at time of recording, I'm at around 170, which is 165 more than I anticipated. My dad being one, and my girlfriend and a couple buddies being the other 4. This is my 72 Puma. This isn't the star of the show today, but what is the star is that 73 Panther. I did get a couple carbs, and a lot of you said to take that wheelbarrow and run over it, throw it at a wall, throw it away. And I'm going to try to get it going with its original equipment. And if I can't, I still want to have this sled running today or tomorrow. So I will take the carb off of this 440 and swap it over. And I know that should theoretically work because this carb runs beautiful. Without further ado, let's get right started on the Panther. So I have the original carb here that I just rebuilt. Everything works and everything's clean-ish. I did have a video made of me rebuilding this and taking apart a spare one, but I wasn't happy with it. I was kind of all over the place. So what I'm going to do is this carburetor here is another spare. It's slightly different. James from New York, shout out to you, sent me this carb. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a separate little mini video of me taking this one completely apart and assembling it to show you guys how a wheelbarrow gets taken apart, put back together. So we'll make this a little separate series. I don't want to bore a lot of you about these carbs. There's a lot to them, and there's a lot of little pieces and stuff like that. So anyways, now that we got the carb done, the sled wasn't making any spark. So now we're going to dive into electrical. So let's go work on that. Sorry, my microphone died. So we're running off the phone now for a little bit. We don't have spark, so I'm going to check the points in here. So we're going to take this recoil off, and we'll dive in and see what's going on with that. And then if that's not the problem, we'll just have to start tracing back all these wires. So let me get this off. All right, I got the cover off. So now we're gonna take this guy off, which should be 1, 2, 3 bolts. Okay, I got the belt pulley off and the recoil pulley. Now I can see my points in here and in here. So I'm gonna try to clean those up the best I can, and we'll see if that fixes the problem. So I know there's a lot going on. I kind of got a little ahead of myself and forgot to film. I first took off the recoil, and usually sometimes the no spark can just be as simple as corrosion on the points, kind of like an old car. And I took this all apart, I cleaned the points, put this all back together, still no spark. So I took my tester out, I tested the ohms, and there was nothing on each of the coils. So I'm figuring the coils are bad. I cleaned the grounds. I checked to see if there's any other grounds to clean. And so now we're waiting on coils to come in a few days. So we're going to hold on spark until those coils come in, and we're going to start working on fuel lines. So let's take this seat off and let's start routing some fuel lines. Okay, we're going to pull all these buttons. This should come right off. Next, we're going to pop these buttons. And this is going to be a lot of fun putting back together. I can already feel it. So now we got a line just coming from the tank. And a line inside the tank, which actually doesn't look that bad. So I'm probably going to leave that and rerun a line down underneath and right out. Okay, I'm going to try to pop that. You know, this line actually isn't in that bad a shape. I've seen a lot worse, but I'm going to cut that. There it is. Throw that away. So we got blue line today. Usually run the yellow, but it really doesn't matter to me. Get rid of some of these leaves. It's been here forever. Wow, I got really lucky with that. Try to keep them here. Okay. So that's going to kind of follow like that. You can see the old one just kind of sat just like that, but I might try to attach it here. Okay. Now we'll go back on. So, looks like our return is capped off. If we do a Tilson with a return, then we'll run a return line when we're ready. But I'm going to try the best I can to run this Walboro. So now that's done. We're going to drain the tank because I don't want to be running that gas. I have no idea how old it is. It doesn't smell that bad, but better safe than sorry. So we'll drain that out. This little automatic pump actually works pretty good if it's a nice open metal tank or plastic tank. That if it's anything with like a nozzle or kinks, then it doesn't work that good. But for this circumstance, it works really good. I've had this thing for like 4 years now, and I never changed the battery out. There's a lot of gas. Now that we sucked the 40 gallons of fuel out of the tank, we are going to get a filter now. Get that guy out of the way. Probably going to put them somewhere right here, and that can wrap up around like that. So I'll cut a little extra. And sure, right there. I'll make sure you know which way the flow is going. Okay. Good. Then that, we have a little extra, so wherever the carb sits again, we can find out exactly where we're going. So we'll leave that just like that. And that's fuel line done. That actually was a lot quicker than it usually is. Usually you have to run lines here, then back over here, tie it to the primer, then over there, and then back to the tank. So, okay, that's done. So my beautiful girlfriend came in with the puppies. This is Saren. She's a 10-year-old German mix. She was a rescue. And then you guys know Buckles, 1-year-old English lab, who likes to sniff and eat everything. Oh, buddy. Nice sweetie pie. What are you doing? Want to say hi to everybody on YouTube, Bray? Hi. I always love when they come and visit me. So, I had to pause the Panther project because something popped up online that hopefully will help us with this no spark issue. I have Buckles with me, my co-host for the day, and we're actually heading to the town of Moltboro, and we're picking up kind of hopefully a donor sled, but it's actually in pretty good shape. So I think down the road we'll actually try to get this one running too, but I need to pull a couple parts out of it. So we will head over there and go take a look at this thing. You have anything to say, buddy? He approves. Let's go. So I got updates. I got a little ahead of myself, and me and my buddy Shane over there, we ended up pulling the motor because we were still getting no spark. I replaced the coils. It's either, I don't think it's a bad key because I was getting power up to the key, but I put a testing light, and it was very, very faint when the Puma was making a very bright light. So what I did was I went out and I picked this up, as you see when I was in the truck with my dog. It's a 73 Cheetah. It needs crank seals and a few other odds and ends, but it's the same exact 440 motor. I'm going to pull the stator out of this one, put it in that engine, and theoretically, if that was the problem, which I think it is, I was putting the ohms on it and it wasn't reading correctly, the right ohm amount. So I'll put that stator in, see if that fixes the problem, then we can make this run next year, or we'll just put it on the shelf. It'll be kind of behind. And while I was there though, we have another gem. I saw it in the corner of the barn and he wanted it for cheap. So I picked it up and we're going to try to get this running for this weekend. So this will be another project. So we have multiple projects at the moment. What do you think, Shane?
You're not.
So, yeah, we're a little full. So we need to start getting some sleds going so I can get rid of a couple and start funding for a future like this one. So where I am at the motor here, me and Shane, we got the mounts off. We had to take the motor mounts off just to get to one bolt on this cover that was behind here. Pain, but we got it where this comes out now. So we're gonna have to do the same thing on that one. I'll probably put the camera up so you can see how that's done, and we'll swap this guy out with that one there. So this is the spare motor from this Cheetah. So I'm going to show you guys, since we already kind of got ahead of ourselves and took that one out of the Panther, we'll take the motor out of this Cheetah, and we will take you guys along with us. So let's get started. First things first, let's get the carb undone, fuel lines off, the belt shroud out, and then we can work on the motor mounts, and it should just slip right out. So let's unscrew these two guys. And then after this, I'm going to put you over to Shane. Shane's a professional YouTuber. He knows. actually don't think he's been on camera before.
Nope, never have. That's my first time.
So right underneath here, there's a little clip, just like that. That pulls out. Forget that little clip, and then this theoretically lift right out of there. Perfect. Okay, and then this one's just 2 bolts there. All right, I'm going to give you over to Shane, and he's going to take off this side for you guys.
All right, guys, what's up? So I'm new to this whole YouTube thing. I'm going to try not to make an idiot of myself, but you're going to follow along with me while I take off this shroud. So all you got to do is loosen this guy up. It's actually easier than the one that we did on the other sled because there's only half of a guard here. So I can take that right around there. And then there's just 1 bolt way down in here. Don't know if you can see it or not. And I can't fit ratchet in there, which I actually knew. Nope.
Designed that way, or if it was already broken?
I don't know. No, it was cut. Yeah. Somebody took a wheel to that thing and just chopped it off. That looks like a me fix.
There we go. So now we got the shroud off. Brake line is taken off as well. So now we just have a nut there. Kind of hard to see, but it's in the black. But there is a nut right there. Yeah, you can kind of see it. And then pretty much the opposite on the other side. There's one right there, and then one back there. So let's get all 4 of those off, and then we'll have the motor out. All right. Yep. Got it. So as you can see Shane work away, we are going to adjust the camera the right way. There we go. We got to take this little top piece off, and that gives us access to the bolts, or the nuts underneath it, and then we can pop this plate actually off after. So Shane's just working on getting that all situated. Okay, so we got the head kind of cover off. We got all the bolts we can around the back of this unit here all loose, besides one underneath that we got to get the engine mount off, and we'll do that after. What I'm going to do now is take this recoil, pretty much kind of like bracket pulley off, and then behind that is a pulley for this fan belt, and then after that we can get this main nut off. Pretty much like a crank, it's like a crankshaft nut or whatever. We'll have that off, and then we'll take the puller and try to pop that free, and yeah, we'll go from there. Two, three. Okay, pull it off this way. Slide out. I'm just gonna take that out. This belt is junk anyways, but I'm just gonna leave it in for now, just off to the side. This engine isn't running anytime soon. Like I said, it needs crank seals, so that'll be a future project for us. So to bring you guys in, we got those two tabs bent out of the way. Now we just got to get a socket on there, back that guy out, and then we can put our puller set on, which are 3 M6 bolts, and that guy should just pop right off. We'll also have to, and once we get that loose, we can get the rest of this, we can get the one more bolt and get this cover off, and when that slides out, we can slide that guy right out too. Okay. That guy, and you have your little clip behind him. Then we'll get our puller, we'll get that on. There it is. Okay, so now we're going to try to get these four mounts off where the engine mounts to the motor. So would they be like motor mount mounts?
Yeah.
So we're going to try to get that off. They are tight. So let's just have you guys watch a struggle, I guess. I don't know. Yes. Wow, tight. Nice. Nice job. Nice. So you see here, we got the motor off the mount. There's a little bolt right there. And that guy is the reason why we have to take that whole motor mount off. All right, now that all the bolts were loose, the plate that's right behind the motor slid right out. Now we can literally grab this guy and pull him out. Just like that. There it is. So now we got a flat head here and a flat head here. And once those are loose, this guy just pops right out. And also, we just got to take off the wires here on this little clip. So I took a photo of the other one, know where every single one goes again. And this guy should slide right back. There's a little grommet here too that usually pops right out with it. So, okay, engine's all put back together. I gave her a quick little bath. She isn't perfect. There's still smudges and, you know, grime that the power washer didn't get off. But that's okay. This sled is a survivor. We want to keep it a little greasy. We can't go too clean with it. So, gotta give a little bit of character to her. So now let's take this and mount it back on the sled. So I'm just letting the Panther dry out a little bit. Gave her a good bath. Like I said, still has a little bit of grime in it. It's not perfect. We're not going for perfect. Skis still have some rust, all that stuff. I just want to keep her original. No paint, no nothing. That's not really my style. Maybe one day we'll do a full restoration. Okay. Well, that fixed the spark issue. So we have spark now. I hooked back up the carburetor, put the lines back in. I gave it a little extra gas line. Once we get it going, I can fix that and adjust that. And also, we got to still do the belt shroud and brakes. And after that, we got to check the chain case oil. But I'll probably just do that off camera just real quick. Just throw a little in. I really want to get this thing going. So let's give it a few pulls and see if she fires up. So my mic stopped working for some reason, and my camera kept recording. So what ended up happening was the Walbro carburetor kept surging and not idling correctly. So what I ended up doing was taking the carb off my Puma, like I said I would possibly do in the beginning of this video, and swap that over. And that seemed to solve a lot of the issues. Now, that being said, it was still not running 100%. I think my timing's off. When I put the stator in, I didn't set the points perfectly. So I'll have to go back in there and adjust that. But for the time being, the sled did run, and it ran good enough where I can take it around the yard. So as you can see by the little fuel line debacle in the back, I quickly put a return just so I could see if that carburetor was the solving issue, and it ended up working good. So I actually put the fuel line the correct way and got it fired up. So let's see this thing rip around the yard. Got the Panther running, as you saw, and I put the seat back on. I did run a return line. This carburetor is temporary. This one belongs in the Puma. I don't want to let it go with this sled. I'll find another one. Or maybe I might Mikuni swap it. We might do a part 3 on this down the road, but we have a bunch of other projects that we're going to start getting to. So we're going to take this one for a little bit of a ride. Still think it needs a little bit of timing. It seems like it's a little bit off. I need to get a, I know you can do something with the 9-volt battery, but they actually make a timer that like beeps at you right where it needs to, when the points open or close, whatever way. But either way, yeah, let's get this thing outside, and at least we can get it for a little test drive. Try her out. Testing out a new mic. Wonder if it's working good. You guys will know. I don't. Anyways, 1973 Artic Panther. Needs a belt. That was smoking. And she still needs some little bit of tuning. The timing, I think, is slightly off, as well as the steering is a little off. So I got to look into that. I might do a part 3 on this. It might be in a couple weeks. I have a lot of other projects I'm trying just to get going. As you saw in the video, it's the shop's a little full. I got to start cleaning out some of them. Anyways, at the beginning of shooting this, which was about a week ago, I had to wait on parts. I was at about 120 subscribers. And at the ending of this part 2 of this Panther, I'm at over 200, and I am just blown away. I just want to thank you guys for supporting this channel. As you guys know, it's just a hobby of mine, and taking you guys along with me while I screw things up, or you know, whatever. It's fun. So a lot of videos coming up in the next couple days. I don't want to keep rambling, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, got a sled show this weekend, so I gotta get a couple more things prepared. See you guys in a few days.